Lily, not change the beat. The sky is not the same no more today. There is no turning back. Lily,
Yo.
not change the beat.
All right, so this one will be about adapting to life in Japan. I know I did a few other ones about some manners and whatnot. So for this one, it'll be just basically like, what should you expect living here? What's going to be a major difference, and how do you deal with culture shock or with that little bit of homesickness you may catch? Now me, I think I'm a little bit of a exemption to the example, because some people have experienced massive amounts of homesickness, and some people didn't even make it 2 months here and they left because it's so different. And it's like, well, isn't that kind of the reason why you came here? Like, you came here to be part of something different, to, experience something. So I think some people try to come over and they don't have would say like a realistic view, or they didn't really think how different it would be. So this would just be a couple of things. All right, number one, they'll probably tell you about this, depending on who you work for, they'll probably give you a heads up. You will get stared at. Be prepared for that. Is it as bad as it used to be like a few years back? From what I've seen, not really. I mean, I've talked to some of the old heads who have been here for years and years in the company, like they've been here for 10 plus or something like that. And they said it used to be a lot more than what it is now. But you need to get used to being stared at. I mean, especially by the older folks. The older folks will analyze you from head to toe because you're new. That's not something that they're used to. Your kids will do the same thing. They will poke and prod you, literally. I'm a fat guy, and so they love poking my big stomach. And that's just one of the things that, they're like, oh, look, this guy's from a different thing, and he's bigger than us, so let's go mess with him. And that's what they'll do. Don't take offense to it. Most of the time, they're just curious. They don't know. Like, they're just finding out. Sometimes, though, they are just being, for lack of words, dickheads. So sometimes you get that. But for the other times, though, it's literally just morbid curiosity. You'll get it all the time on the trains, on the buses. Dude, I get it whenever I'm driving. Like, I've had older couples just standing on the side of the road having conversations, and the woman sees that I'm driving and she has to do like a double and triple take, and then she'll point to her friend, and then they'll both just stare at me while I'm at a red light. It's funny to me, but some people really don't like it. Like, some people really got weirded out by it. But literally just come to this country, at least with that in your mind, that you will get stared at. The other one, don't think this is the land of make-believe, rainbows, unicorns, and anime. You're not going to see Goku flying around. Sailor Moon isn't going to be transforming on the street corner. Pikachus don't run rapidly out here, which would actually be pretty cool if, we had Pokemon and Charizards and all that other stuff. You need to curtail down your expectations of this country. Some people come over here thinking it's the Mecca. And by that I mean, like, they're going to come here and it's just nothing but a bunch of nerds and other, what's the word for super, weeaboos. And I have nothing against weeaboo. I guess I'm kind of am one because I like anime and stuff. I'm not to sleep with my sex pillow and all that. But, don't come here expecting just a bunch of people like that. Like, these are just normal dudes, normal chicks, normal kids, old people. They just have a different culture. And just come with an open mind. That's the big thing. Don't expect, I came from this country, so it has to be this way. I watched plenty of videos before I came over here. People going, I can't believe they do this way in the schools. It's so ridiculous and it makes no sense. And it goes, no, it makes sense to them. That's their culture. That's what they do. Like, all right, example. I can't remember the name of the video, but it's something that I watched a long time ago. They literally complained that every time the students have to come into the teacher's room, whether it's an emergency or something mundane, they have to say "shireshimasu," which is basically saying excuse me, and they have to announce themselves, they have to say what their name is, and they say what they're there for. They do it every time before they come in and before they leave. It's always "shireshimasu." It's always excuse me again, I'm leaving. So and they just, like, really, in the video they were super upset. And me, of course, I mean, I used to teach back in America too. I'm just going, well, that's really nothing. Like, there's nothing to complain about there. This is perfectly fine. They're literally just saying, hey, I'm coming in and this is why I'm here. I need to talk to XX teacher or whatever. And then they're saying, okay, I'm leaving, bye. And it's really, I don't see it as a big deal, but some people like really got mad at it. Some people really were mad at the students having to clean the school. Once again, there's a reason for that. They do that to help promote like teamwork, because if you got to clean the school, you don't want to trash it, because then that means that you have to spend the time to clean it up. I just sit back and go, hey, that's all good. I wish schools in the US would do that. Maybe teach the kids to quit being so, terrible at keeping up, and it might teach them a little something. But then again, it's two sides of a coin. And then also, basically, this will probably be the last one, because then I'll just ramble on. Like how to act in public. Now in Japan, there is no rule against open containers. You can walk around with a beer in hand all day. You can drink whatever you want walking around. You can smoke cigarettes anywhere, unless there's a sign, of course, that says don't smoke here, and they'll have a designated area for you. But behave yourself. And by that I mean have common sense. I have seen some foreigner people here that have just lost their damn minds. Like, some people come here and they act a straight ass, and then they want to talk about, oh, well, how unfair is this or that and the other. It's not. You were acting stupid in another country that has different rules, and you didn't bother to learn the rules. Now, that being said, if you didn't know, then okay, at least now you know, don't do it again. But there are many instances to where, and I'm not just talking about New Year's where people just get stupid in general, because I saw like some Japanese dudes getting literal like Goldberg shoulder tackled by the police because they weren't doing what they're supposed to. So, but I'm just talking about like following some basic rules. Like on the train, yeah, I talk to, and you're not supposed to, but instead of being really loud, I try to keep my voice down so I don't bother anybody. Same thing if you're listening to music, don't blast it out thinking that everybody wants to hear the new Drake album. Turn it down some. Keep it to yourself. That's kind of what the whole thing is about. It's just, being decent. Now, does that mean you have to stifle who you are? No, you can still be who you are. Just try to be considerate of other people. And that coming from me sounds kind of funny, because I really don't care what other people think. I'll just do whatever I want. But the thing is, I also try to act within my boundaries. So, if you like having green hair, go ahead and do it. Just, don't be surprised when people are staring at you, or if they have something to say, because they have, in this country, there's a lot of preconceived notions about a lot of things, especially like tattoos. If you come from a certain culture, or if you are a certain person, because that's what they do here. They generalize everybody, and it's just kind of how they are. It's not a good or a bad thing, because it has good things and bad things to it. But for the most part, just act like you have some common sense. If you don't agree with something, that's fine. But unless it completely offends every sensibility that makes you who you are, like, just let it go and try to do what they do. Win in Rome, guys. That's just how it works. You can't always buck the system and expect it to work. This ain't, this ain't Britain. This ain't the US. This ain't Australia. This is Japan. They just do things a little bit differently here. So that's it for this one. I'll probably think of some other things for the ALT videos. It's just, me speaking freely. If anybody wants to ask me something, go ahead. Just put something in the comments. I'll answer any questions. Hopefully I'll have some type of experience. The cool thing is, pretty soon I will have experience about getting my Japanese license, so I'll definitely talk about that, and also talk about renewing visas, because that is something that I don't know much about, but I'm about to go through the process, so I'll be able to help people out on that whenever the time comes. So until then, later.